Welcome to our third panel with the cast of Black Girl Missing, starring Garcelle Beauvais, Iyana Halley, Taylor Mosby, and Linda Park, along with our partnered organization on the project, Derrica Wilson from Black and Missing. Welcome all ladies. We're going to go ahead and get started with a question. Per Black and Missing's findings, there is a large disproportionate amount of people of color missing in the United States alone. In being a part of this movie, what do you see the goal is and its potential impact?
I would say for me and I think for all of us, it's bringing awareness and making people see what goes on in terms of like the disparity between if somebody who's Black and brown goes missing versus someone who's blonde and blue-eyed and, becomes America's sweetheart. We just want, equality in being seen.
Absolutely. And I echo everything you just said. Awareness is key. Educating the audience about this pandemic that's affecting the minority community is so important. And it's our hope that the impact of this movie will show that everyone has a responsibility to do a part when someone in our community goes missing. That's law enforcement, that's the media, and that's the community.
And I think the powerful thing about storytelling is it kind of bypasses the intellectual, the idea of something. Because when you are able to relate one-on-one, and Garcelle did it so beautifully, then you see the person, you see the situation, and you're able to have awareness through a heart space to understand as a mother from a universal perspective why this is wrong, why we need to affect change and be mobilized by emotions. And I think that is what really drives people to action is in that heart space.
Well said.
Wonderful. Iyana, Taylor?
And to be piggyback off of both ladies, awareness for sure. And I feel like the more people know, the more they can do. So I just hope that with them seeing this film, if they don't know about this foundation, they can learn more about it and they can just literally do more to help.
Following right up after Iyana, it's just very important that we show what it really looks like when you don't have the same help as everybody else. I mean, every single day is hard when you don't have that one person at the table. It's a very, very difficult process. And you imagine having to do that alone. It's really difficult. You have to find your own resources for this impossible situation. So it's just very important that we let people know how hard it really is when you're going through this alone.
Thank you all for your answers. We're going to go ahead and get started and calling on press. Renata Brown from Dreamspire TV.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to ask this question. And so if it was one thing that as a mother, a grandmother, when someone goes missing in my community that looks like me or my family, what is the main first thing that one can do to let people know?
I think if I can speak, I know it's really making sure that people are aware, whether it's social media, whether it's going to the news station in your local, town. I think it's making sure that people are aware. It's putting up pictures, is having a conversation. Have you seen where were they before? What were they wearing? I think all those things are important.
And if I can just add to that, file a police report. That's critical. That's crucial. And do not allow law enforcement to turn you away. You have to champion for your missing loved one. And then enlisting the support of the Black and Missing Foundation. We want to help you. We want to utilize our expertise to help bridge that gap with law enforcement, with the media, and then rally our community members. So those are some things that we can do at the grassroots level.
Wonderful. Thank you. Our next question is from Chris Gunter. Chris, please unmute.
Got it. I hope that everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Garcelle, my question is for you. First of all, you are definitely goated in my book, one of the greatest of all time. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
You've done so much in your career. Where does this rank along with how challenging was it for you to portray this role?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. This ranks pretty high up for me because one, I got to executive produce and bring this story to life. But for me, being able to have this platform is to bring awareness to things that are important to me, important to my community. And so for that reason alone, the message, the story, and hopefully we can change something, ranks pretty high up there with everything that I've done.
Thank you so much for your time.
You too.
Thank you, Chris. Up next, we have Partice Smith. Partice, please unmute your mic.
Great. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. My question is, of course, we know media doesn't give the attention to Black Girl Missing, and we have the foundation, we have this movie coming out. We've heard great ways to how we can be a part of this. What are some things we can do to try to prevent it?
Derrica, I'm going to leave that to you.
Absolutely. Well, we have to understand the systemic issues why our people are going missing in the first place. We want to take that proactive approach. They're going missing for human trafficking, mental health, homelessness, and the list goes on and on. So if we are able to identify the root causes, then we can better protect our community. We also need to change policy with law enforcement and how they handle the case. We know that the first 24 hours are the most critical moments, but yet law enforcement want families to wait 24 hours. And when it's a Black or brown person in our community that's missing, the wait is even longer because our cases are not taken seriously. They like to classify our missing as runaways. They're not receiving the Amber Alert, and there's no sense of urgency. And then with the media, there's no policy on how these cases are even handled. So I think holistically, we have to look at, regardless of race, regardless of zip code, these families matter. And they all deserve that coverage and the resources from law enforcement and the media.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you. Up next, we have Terry Shropshire from Rolling Out Magazine. Terry, please unmute.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you. This question is for everyone, but I wanted to start with Garcelle. I wanted to talk about, with the, I don't know, grief disparity notwithstanding.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about how much emotional capital that you guys had to expend to play this role, because I can't imagine going into this role, fully immersing yourself into this role, and coming out on the other side the same person. You had to have been altered in some way. So I wanted to talk about what you went through during and then afterwards.
That is a great question. For me, being a mom, I already have those feelings and I'm always nervous. My kids now want to be able to take Ubers and I worry about that. I worry about a lot. But for me, I found myself crying a lot during production, even if I was just in my trailer. I think because of the frustration, that's what I took with me. It's the frustration from real life to playing this to playing this movie, to playing this character, is just the frustration that we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be taken seriously, we want to be validated. I mean, we carry that with us all throughout our lives. So the frustration was definitely something that came easy because I already felt it just in everyday life,
Absolutely. And if one of the other characters can speak on that, please.
Actually following up on what Ms. Garcelle said, it was very eye-opening for me, I think, because you do find yourself crying, but for so many different reasons. So some of it is out of anger, it's out of frustration, it's just genuinely out of sadness. And then also you find yourself imagining what it really is like to go through something like this. And that's heartbreaking. You're already in that mental space, and then you're having these conversations, and these are conversations that thousands of people have had every single day. And I think I had moments on set with Miss Garcelle. We felt the heaviness of what was really going on. And you don't really have to dig as deep to find that, because you just end up living some of the emotions that other people have felt. And you don't come out the same, but you really get to learn and experience something that is so hard, but it's a lesson. You really do learn, and all you want to do is do your best to help prevent that from ever happening to anybody again.
Absolutely. If we have time for Iyana to respond, if not, thank you.
And for me, it was definitely super emotional. I watched so many videos, and I have a scene that really just broke my heart, where Lauren is just basically, she's going through so much. And just to see that people really go through this stuff, it was just, I don't know, it was just crazy heartbreaking. And again, spreading awareness is so important. And that's why I made sure that I wanted to be a part of this film, because people need to see that this is happening every day, unfortunately.
Well, blessings to you and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Lexis Wilson. Lexis, please unmute your mic.
Thank you for taking out the time to speak with us. It's really an honor, especially with such a movie, Black Girl Missing. That's a huge message. So my question is actually for everyone, but first I wanted to start with Garcelle. You are not new to Lifetime when it comes to shedding light on young girls and women being victims, whether it's of blackmail and now with this movie of being kidnapped or missing. How has this experience been working with Derrica, especially because she has a Black and Missing Foundation? It's very rare that you get to have a movie where you get to work with someone that has a passion to solve exactly what the movie is about. So I would love to hear from all of you about that.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, when the script idea came to me, I knew immediately I want to be a part of it. I mean, I think it's important, to do things that you love, but also do things that have some kind of responsibility. And getting to Derrica, I met her at the Ebony Power event. And let me tell you, they're like rock stars to me, because what they do is phenomenal. I wasn't aware of the Black and Missing Foundation, and now I follow them on social media, and it breaks my heart every time I see a new post. And even though I knew this was going on, seeing that it's not just young kids, it's also adults, it's also males, it just makes it that much more powerful for us to bring awareness to this movie. So I am thrilled to be a part of it, and always, always ready to do something that's going to give back to our community.
And if I can just add to that, Natalie and I definitely enjoyed working on this project to be able to utilize our expertise. Again, mine is in law enforcement, Natalie is in public relations, media, and those are the two critical professions needed. So for us to walk alongside with the team and be able to share the feedback and the positioning of the issue, because we're dealing with it every single day with the families that we are serving, and to also be able to share that narrative with the world, because this movie is a call to action. It's our hope that after everyone views it, that they will want to do something to even the playing field, because missing persons isn't a Black issue. It's not a white issue. It's an American issue. It's a human issue. And again, regardless of that, race and zip code, everyone matters. So.
Thank you all so much for your time. Coming from a news background, I completely understand. So I just wanted to show the importance of movies like this really matter, because having to report on such things is very heartbreaking. So thank you all for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lexis. Up next, we have Violet Allen. Violet, please unmute.
Hi, so my question is for Garcelle. How do you feel this movie affected you personally?
I mean, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a grandmother. I mean, it can affect anyone, any one of us. So for me, it really hit home because this was her daughter. And it's a parent's nightmare, like I say, in the scene that we just saw. It's just really horrifying. And, we just want everybody to be seen. We're not saying we're more important than others. We're just saying everyone should be seen when something tragic like this happens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Violet. Up next is So Unique Magazine. So Unique, please unmute.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask, when you initially received the scripts, did you realize that your participation in this film would change the lives of so many missing people and that it would positively affect the lives of their loved ones?
That's our wish. That's our goal. If we can help one person, then we're, a huge success. I mean, that's the whole point of this movie. And, thank God when we pitched the idea to Lifetime, they got it right away and they championed it. And, they're doing a whole series of, projects to help, stop violence against women. So absolutely. The minute I think we all jumped on board was in hopes of creating change.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Up next is The Motivations with the Gloria Taylor radio show. Please unmute your mic.
I think I did. Okay, great. Hi, I'm Gloria Taylor, The Motivations with Gloria Taylor radio show. We motivate, educate, and inspire here in Eastern North Carolina. This question is for anyone. Unfortunately, we know that there's a racial and gender disparity among women of color. We are missing, who are missing in today's society, but often not acknowledged of victims. So how important is it, Garcelle and others, for all of us to pay attention and to get involved in our communities to stop missing women of color?
Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, something that really drew me to this is first and foremost, being a mother myself, like Garcelle. This is something, it doesn't matter what race you are, it hits you in the gut. It is your absolute worst fear that you hope you never have to face. And something character kind of held is that position of, do you help or do you do what the status quo is? And I think a lot of people are in that position of, you can say, oh, that's horrible, and I feel horrible about that thing, but then let me go and get lunch. It's at what point do you make a decision to engage, to get involved? And for my character, it was common universality of not only being a mother, but being a woman of color that we talked about in rehearsals and tapped into. And that for me, what was exciting to work on myself, and Garcelle was such a wonderful scene partner in that respect, where I could feel that compassion for this woman in so much pain and suffering, because it was so real for Garcelle, is especially for women of color, people of color, where are our connections? Where do we experience similar difficulties, similar roadblocks, and a feeling of not being taken care of or not belonging in a country that we call our home? Where do those lines meet? And I think that's not explored as much as I would like to. That's something that's interesting to me. And so, I think really it's asking that question to ourselves all the time, is even what small thing can we do, even if it may seem small?
Right.
Where can we take some kind of action? It doesn't mean you have to give your life to a foundation entirely, but a small act goes a long way, and they are cumulative.
And I think with the small act, just to add on to what you stated, I think for us to understand, each one out there to understand their own biases, right? So when you see a flyer of a missing individual, help that flyer go viral. Become that digital milk carton, because if it was your family, you will want the same thing. And sadly, in the Black and Brown community, we are often taking matters into our own hands. So again, just recognizing your own biases and sharing that information, because we know that someone out there knows something and we just need them to come forward.
Right.
And again, I hope that this film definitely builds awareness, and that people use their social media or whatever that they have just to literally spread the word. It takes a community, and we'll see that in the film. It takes a community to help find the person that's missing, to get help. So everyone literally needs to just band together.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Doc. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying that it's what everybody's saying is true. Like, what we have to do is recognize the biases and kind of accept that responsibility and know that it starts with us, because if it doesn't start with us, it's not going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. These conversations are very important, but we only have so much time. So we do have room for 2 more questions. And I'm going to go to Aries from urbanbridges.com. Aries?
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having us. Great movie. I enjoyed it so much and it's so needed. My question right now is for Derrica. What's the most important message you want people to get once they watch the film?
The most important message that I want everyone to get is that we all have a responsibility. We all play a part. And again, that's law enforcement, that's the media, and that's the community. You can't have one without the other. And we all play a vital role in finding and bringing our missing home. So everyone look at the film, help us find us, and continue to spread awareness out there of our missing men, women, and children. Oof.
Real good. And then real quick, I want to ask Garcelle and anybody else on the cast to tell our viewers why they need to tune in to Black Girl Missing on Lifetime in March.
Okay. It's simple as this. First of all, I have to say we have an amazing cast, producers, crew, and this movie was really important to me and all of us because it's shedding light on the disparity between how we're treated when we go missing. And if nothing else, I hope we get to save someone or maybe more than one, which would be ideal. Watch the movie and then make sure your friends watch the movie and talk about it and see how you can help.
All right. If nobody else, again, great movie. So well needed. Thank you guys so much. Continued blessings.
Thank you. And finally, our last question is going to April Banks. April, please unmute.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. First, I saw the movie and I want to say thank you for naming those names at the end. It really touched my soul because I live in the DC area and I'm knowledgeable about Felicia Rudd and that story. So Danica says about the milk carton. So I want to say this to Iyana and Taylor. You guys built such a sisterly bond in this movie. How challenging was it to have your mom to rely on you to get your sister back utilizing social media since there's such an age gap? Myself as a mom, I understand like, okay, I can do this, but then we have to rely on the youth to get us to where we need to get to. So how was it to get your mom to be like, okay, yeah, this is, I want you to, 100% trust me that I am going to help you get my sister back home?
That's actually a great question. I think it is difficult because you're asking your parent to trust you and to let them, to allow them to depend on you a little bit, which I think is hard for every parent, especially in a situation like this, because all they want to do is protect you from what's going on. But in this scenario, it's going to require two. It's going to require both the daughter and the mother in order to help find our missing Iyana. And just like Miss Derrica was saying, like the digital milk carton idea, that's kind of where we're at as a society right now. Like everything is digital. And so we have to learn to operate within that new space and utilize as much as we can these platforms that we have, because this is where the eyes are. It's not the same anymore, as people looking at things that are posted in the street, because most of us are online. So honestly, I think it really helps us get an idea of how to help cases like this now in modern times. And I think digital milk carton was like, that's a really great analogy for where we're at right now.
Thank you so much. It was a great movie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, that is all the time we have for today. But
okay, good, because I have to go. Bye, guys. Thank you for everything. Bye.
Bye. So if we didn't get to your question, please email lifetimepr@adnetworks.com. Otherwise, you can tune in to Black Girl Missing, premiering Saturday, March 4th at 8/7 Central, only on Lifetime. We'll be back with the final panel.